Bonsoir tout le monde. Good evening, everybody. I
Hello.
know some of you, I recognize you. Some of you have been my students in the past, and this is nice to see you. Some of you attend events regularly. I see that as well. Thank you for attending, and thank you to board member Diane Ambler to be here tonight for the event as well. This is wonderful. I am speaking so that in case some latecomers come in, but we will make sure that the event is uploaded on our channel, on our YouTube channel next week. Not this week, but next week after probably at the end of next week, more like Friday. So like that, anybody who was not able to attend today will be able to see the event as well. You will have a chance later on to ask questions to our guests, special guests who are very, very tired. It's midnight in Europe right now, Julie and Muriel, and they just came back from promoting Toulouse in Oslo, in Norway. That's how much they've been working, so they really are tired. I just wanted to remind you that on May 13th, on Tuesday, May the 13th, we will be celebrating the 120th anniversary of the Alliance Francaise of Washington, D.C. We were established in 1905 by then Ambassador Jules Jusseron. And it's been 120 years that we've been giving French classes and opening the world, the French world and the Francophone world to Washingtonians. So 120 years, and we do hope to stay on for 120 more years. So please join us. It's our only benefit event every year that we have. You can find it on Eventbrite, bien sûr, and also on a newsletter. There was one this week, and it's included in every Tuesday cultural newsletter as well. And then on May the 16th, a few days later, 3 days later, we'll conclude the Alliance Française of Washington's commemoration of the end of World War II. We had a very emotional event last week online as well with author Maggie Paxson about a book, The Plateau, on the French Protestant resistance, which goes on nowadays, which is actually not far away north of Occitania, the region of which we will talk today. And she's coming in person to give a musical performance on May the 16th, during which she will sing songs from the interwar period of 1919 to 1939, as well as those French songs that were popular during the war. So this will be in French. Now, tonight is in English because some of you may not all speak French fluently, and we wanted to make sure that everybody understands what it's all about Toulouse. I will introduce our guest speakers in a moment. For those of you who have emailed me, if you want to have access to the document, for those of you who haven't emailed me, rather, for those of you who want to have access to the document, the tentative itinerary we have for the trip that will be in October. The dates are set to the October 19th to 27th, but the content is still to be confirmed with some of the venues. The hotel will be chosen soon as some of those interested have replied to the questionnaire. I will send a questionnaire to everyone attending the event today in the next on Tuesday morning, definitely. So without any further ado, let me first share my screen here before. So I hope everybody can see that, and you all can see, yes?
Oui, yes.
Thank you. You can have, if any questions, you can enter them in the chat, so that will be easier for us to filter the questions if you have any. And so this will be our webinar on Toulouse. And we have with us today, we have both Muriel Martin, Public Relations Manager at Toulouse and of Toulouse Ambassadors Club. She holds a Master of Philosophy, International Public Law from the University of Bordeaux, and an LLM in International Law from the University of Laval in Quebec. She has more than 20 years of experience in Toulouse promotion, 6 years in business tourism, 12 years in leisure tourism, and 4 years in economic development. She is in charge of the local ambassador program a network composed of about 500 personalities around a common goal to raise awareness and promote Toulouse throughout France and abroad in more than 50 countries. She's passionate about all things related to interculturalism and public relations. And with her is Julie Soupen, who's tourism promotion manager. She holds a BA in literature and applied foreign language, such as English, from the University of Pau and Adour, that's not far away in the southwest, as well as professional graduate certificates from the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Bordeaux-Gironde. And she joined the PR team at Toulouse Métropole to promote the Pink City in 2006. And without further ado, Julie and Muriel, the floor is yours.
Bonsoir à tous. Merci,
Bonsoir,
Sarah.
hello, thank you so
Hello.
much. We're very glad to be with you, even if we're a little bit tired because of our trip in Norway, but we are very, very happy to be with you and talk about our city. We work for the Toulouse Business Development Agency, which brings into one roof 4 different activities. We have the tourist office for leisure tourism. We have the Toulouse team meetings for business tourism, congresses, conventions, and so on. We have Toulouse team invest for foreign investment to set up foreign companies in Toulouse. And we also have the filming team for audiovisual production. And so we are 60 of us in this public agency working on various targets, but we all do the same thing. We do the promotion of Toulouse, of our destination. What we do is place marketing. And as always in marketing, we started by the marketing positioning, and we found that Toulouse was a smart and lively city. Next. Oh, it's not the one, the good one. Okay, so next one, and then I'll come back to the next one. Sarah, please.
Oh, sorry, hold on.
No, it's my fault. Yeah, so yeah, as I was saying, in marketing, we always start by marketing positioning, and we found that Toulouse was a smart and lively city, which is normal for a student city, and we're gonna tell you why we are really a smart and lively city. So we come from the southwest of France, which is the other south, I would say, because it's less known than the Côte d'Azur, but it's much more authentic. Next, we are well located. Yes, we are the red part in the south of France. So we are well located between the Mediterranean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. We are very close from Spain, just behind the Pyrenees Mountains. We are in this region called Occitanie. So Occitanie region is the second largest region in France, with 6.2 million inhabitants. And we have the fastest population growth in the country. We are very known for R&D because we have 40% of executives working in R&D in the region. We are also the first wine growing region in France by surface area. And we are the first locavore oriented region. That's why we have such a good quality of life in Occitanie. Next. So Toulouse is the capital of this region with 1.3 million inhabitants. Thanks to our huge population growth, we just became the 3rd French urban area after Paris and Marseille. We are now before Lyon, so we are very proud of that. And why is Toulouse attractive? It's because it's a young and sunny city, but also because it's a very dynamic city economically. We have indeed a lot of engineers, researchers, and we are the 2nd city in France for job creation just after Paris. And we are also the 2nd city for patent applications. Next. Okay, so Toulouse is the capital of the Occitanie region. You have to know that we are the twin city with Atlanta in the US since, I will say, 1955, something like that, more than 50 years ago. So we are glad to be the twin city with Atlanta. We often do mission, you know, to promote our city in Atlanta, but we are not that close from that city that we're supposed to be. But it's really interesting for us because we can send startups from Toulouse to go to Atlanta, and also we can welcome startups from Atlanta in Toulouse. We are the world capital of aeronautics. I don't know if you can imagine why. Why is Toulouse the capital for aeronautics in France, in Europe, and in the world? Maybe I have to tell you the story, a short story, but during the First World War, you know, we needed planes to fight against Germany. And as Toulouse was far from the German border, because we're in the south of France, very close to from Spain, we are far from Germany, we decided to build planes in Toulouse. So we had at that time a company called Latécoère. They used to build trains, and so they changed. They decided to build airplanes, and this company became Aéropostale. And Aéropostale, after the First World War, as we didn't need any more planes, we used the planes to bring mail from France to Spain, North Africa, South America. And I'm sure you've heard about some pilots like Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, you know, the writer of The Little Prince, Le Petit Prince, maybe you know him. Saint-Exupéry, Mermoz, Guillaumet, they were pilots, very crazy pilots, because at that time it was really dangerous to fly from France to Africa and America. So that's why we have this, that's why we are the capital of aeronautics, because of Aéropostale, thanks to Aéropostale, I would say. So we build airplanes, but we also build satellites. That means we are very good for space industry. And we are also the center of excellence for artificial intelligence. And we are the most attractive city in France after Paris, according to Arthur Lloyd last year. That means, yeah, there's a lot of job in Toulouse. There's a lot of things to do. We are also a student city. We are the second oldest student city in France. Our university was founded in the 13th century. We are the first French city in terms of talent retention. That means our students stay in Toulouse and they find job in Toulouse, which is cool. We have more than 100,000 students in Toulouse, including 15% of international students. And why is because we have a lot of English tracks in Toulouse. That means you can learn in Toulouse in English, which people usually don't know. We have a Nobel Prize winner for economics 10 years ago, is Professor Jean Tirole, and he's the president of the Toulouse School of Economics, which is really renowned all over the world. Next. So our university gathers 15 higher education institutions, including 3 large universities, Capitole, Jean Jaurès, and Paul Sabatier. We have 1 business school called TBS, Toulouse Business School Education, and we have 5 engineering schools, as some of them are very renowned because we have the biggest campus dedicated to aerospace. We have more than 60,000 students in aeronautics and space industry, thanks to schools like ISA et Super Aero or ENAC or Paul Sabatier. Next. yes, to sum up, I would say that Toulouse has a unique ecosystem because we have top school and universities. We have renowned public and private laboratories. We have a huge network of SME and startups. And last but not least, we have major industrial groups like Airbus, that you might know, the main competitor of Boeing, because we are, of course, very known for aviation, but we are also good for space industry. And not only we are renowned for smart mobility, because as we have space skills, we have developed embedded systems, and we are also very good for health, biotech, and cosmetics, and digital technology. Next.
So
Just before giving the floor to Julie, I would like to tell you something very important that I missed. Why are we together tonight? Is because Sarah is one of our best ambassadors. We have in Toulouse this Toulouse Ambassador Network, and we have today it's more than 600 people based in 52 countries in the world, people who love Toulouse and who are committed to showcasing Toulouse in their professional or private network. And I would like really to thank Sarah because she's doing something really, really wonderful. And it's just the beginning. And yes, and she was co-opted by one of our ambassadors called Emmanuelle Choussy, who used to be a photographer. She used to live in Los Angeles, and I think you met when she was living in Los Angeles. And Emmanuelle is also a very good ambassador for Toulouse. But yes, this network is really important for us because we know that Toulouse is not on the map. Toulouse is not very known, so we need people who love Toulouse to help us promoting the city. So thank you so much, Sarah, for what you do for Toulouse. And now, Julie.
And let me just say something. And it's not only important to know Toulouse, but as an Alliance Francaise, it's important for us to introduce people, our members, our students, our friends of the Alliance Francaise, to other places than Paris, Provence, and Normandy. So France is not just Paris, just like the United States is not just New York or Washington, D.C. So for us, it's part of our mission at Alliance Francaise. And there is, by the way, an Alliance Francaise in Toulouse as well, so which I used to know at the time when I was young. So it is important for us at Alliance Francaise to open the world of France and not just Paris to our members. So thank you, Muriel and Julie, for having accepted to stay awake so late for that. Up to you, Julie.
Thank you, Sarah. So my challenge now is to convince you that Toulouse is a great touristic destination and that with Sarah, we have realized a great program for next October for you if you want to come and discover this beautiful city that has finally this year, we can say that it has captured the world's attention since this city has been crowned as #1 urban destination to visit in the world in 2025 by the Lonely Planet. To be honest with you, we didn't pay anything to get this distinction. So we are very happy to share it with you because it was really a good surprise. And we are sure that when you will come to Toulouse, it will be also a very positive surprise for you. Since, as we said before, it's not a famous destination, but we have such a great variety with the local offer that I'm going to try to show you into details with the next slide, please. So maybe some of you know that we call Toulouse la Ville Rose, but do you know why? I'm sure that some of you know the answer. So yes, we called Toulouse La Ville Rose because all the monuments are made with the red brick. So we have this mix of pink and terracotta buildings, which give the color of the destination. And we love saying that Toulouse blends perfectly rich history with modern innovation. And we are convinced that you will be really amazed by the charming little streets that we have in Toulouse with all the centuries-old architecture building. Next, please. So this is what it looks like. So as you can see, it's a very narrow cobbled streets with very old buildings. And that's all the time the very good surprise, because for most of the people, we know that they have the image of Airbus factory, of an industrial city. And when they come and make a stop in Toulouse, they said, wow, I need some more time really to discover all the secrets of the little streets. So Sarah realized the perfect program for you. It's long enough to give you the time to discover all the little secrets of the story. Even if we are the third biggest city in France, it's really a human-sized city. I mean, everything can be done by walk. From one point to another one, it's maximum 20 minutes walking. So it's what gives really the charm of the destination. And what we recommend to you is to take time to feel the city, to feel the atmosphere, to take time to talk with the local people, to understand better its art de vivre and its conviviality. We talk in French about the convivialité, what characterizes the city. I'm sure that Sarah agrees with me about this distinction. Please, next slide. So yes, we are very proud to say that we have 3 UNESCO sites. Maybe the best known is the Canal du Midi that you see in the picture. So the Canal du Midi really starts in Toulouse and goes directly to the Mediterranean Sea. You have amazing landscape like the one that you see in the picture. This is what you have inside the city center. So you can enjoy the Canal du Midi by using a boat, like no driving license boat, very easy, very relaxing. You take time, it's very slow, and you enjoy the landscape on the way to the Mediterranean Sea. You can also hire a bicycle. It's another way to discover also and to feel the atmosphere along the canal. And the second emblematic site that we have is Saint-Sernin Basilica, which is one of the biggest Roman church in Europe. And it's also a stop for the pilgrims on the way of Santiago of Compostela. And Hôtel Dieu Saint-Jacques is amazing. It's situated on the river embankment. It's the old hospital, and it's also a stop for the pilgrims on the way of Santiago of Compostela. Next, please. Yes, as we said, Toulouse is really famous for Airbus, but most of the people do not know that it's possible to visit the Airbus factory, and there you will get like a behind-the-scene look at how the iconic aircraft are made. So it's really unique, really authentic, and during 1 hour and a half, you will get many details about how they bring each piece of the aircraft to Toulouse. And it's not a technical visit, it's really adapted to every kind of people. In front of it, you've got Aeroscopia Museum. You really have to make a stop also over there. It's a museum where we can say it's a true paradise for aviation lover, because there you will have historic planes such as the Concorde that you see in the picture. It's possible to enter into the Concorde, so it's a fantastic experience. And you also have very emblematic planes such as the Caravelle, the Super Guppy, and much more others, and also interactive exhibits. Next. Yes, we can say like a touch of history and adventure. We have L'Envol des Pionniers, the famous flight of the pioneers that Muriel talked about before. And there, it's a site which is celebrating the pioneers of aviation like Saint-Exupéry, but also Mermoz, Guillaume. And there you will see very historical aircraft, photographs, exhibits also that tell the story of those brave individuals who finally pushed the boundaries of aviation. Next one. Yes, Toulouse for its perfectly is also very famous for the space, and for the ones who are really curious about this thematic, the Cité de l'Espace, City of Space, offers like an out-of-the-world experience, and it has a very impressive planetarium with explanation about the moon, the stars, everything. You've got also space missions, you've got rockets, you've got also a cinema in 3 dimensions, and astronaut encounters. And the new attraction that we have is called Le Lune Explorer. So it's to give you the feeling that you are going to the moon and you get twice your weight on your body. So we talk about, is it correct to say 2 jets? The impression to get 2 jets. So it's quite impressive, and it's really part of the experience also. And to to visit the entire site, you need 1 full day. It's really big. So next one, please. Yes, Cultural Toulouse is not famous, but we are very proud of our offer. We've got such great museums. Maybe my favorite one is this one, the Augustine, which is the Museum of Fine Art with a collection of paintings from the 15th to the 19th century. And it is situated in a former monastery. And it's been renovated at the moment. It will be reopening at the end of the year. And it's really a great place that I really recommend you to see. Saint-Raymond Museum, yes, we include it in your program if you come to Toulouse in October. So it's known as Musée des Antiques. It's the archaeology museum, and it is housed in a former 19th century seminary, and it is dedicated to ancient history of the region. And there you will see some sculptures, pottery, and everyday objects from the Roman and Gallo-Roman eras. Next one. Bamberg. So this building that you see on the picture is a private mansion from the Renaissance, from the 16th century. And inside you've got a private collection of Bamberg, who was a person from Argentina who gave his personal collection to the city of Toulouse. And inside you will find an amazing collection of paintings like Picasso, Bonnard, Gauguin, Monet, but also furnitures from the 15th to the 17th century. It's an amazing collection. Next one. Yes, Halles de la Machine. It's a bit difficult for me to explain you this museum, this site. I don't know how to define it exactly. It is a place where you have mechanical creatures like the one that you see in the picture that we call the Minotaur, which makes like 12 meters high. And on his back, he can have 49 people. He's gonna walk between the flats in the neighborhood, and you're gonna participate to the show with the Minotaur, who's got some smoke out of the nose. You see it moving. It's like a real human being. It's quite impressive, and it's not necessarily just for children. It's also very impressive for us as adults to see all these technical details. And inside the hall, the museum, you will see plenty other little machines which are very funny, very fantastic. It's just like if we were participating or like in a dream. It's something different, which I really recommend also you to see and to participate to this ride on the back of the Minotaur. Next one. Yes, Toulouse is definitely a vibrant destination, which is recognized as a UNESCO City of Music, because every month we have something like a festival, like an exhibit. Throughout the year, really, the city comes alive with music, dance, art, and local festivities that really bring people together and create like an energetic atmosphere. And those festivals really showcase the city's dynamism and also its love for art and culture. So we've got plenty of festivals. Maybe one which is very famous is the one which is called Piano au Jacobin. So as you can see, it's a piano festival. It's an international piano festival, which happens in the Jacobins church into the cloister. So it's very pleasant atmosphere, very quiet. You're in the middle of the city center. You don't hear anything except this exceptional music. But we have, of course, plenty of others. Just to tell you that it's a very vibrant and dynamic destination all year long. Just also to know that a quarter of the population is a student. So it makes a lot of life in the city all year long. Next one. Yes, I repeat it once again, but we've been elected the first urban destination in the world by Lonely Planet. So it's a good excuse for you to come and discover, as Sarah said before, a different destination, different from Paris, from the French Riviera. And we are convinced that you will be satisfied by the good surprise. We are not overwhelmed by tourism, but Toulouse has really a lot to offer. For the moment, the leisure part is 40%. The rest is congress, seminar, congress activity. But we like having just 40% of leisure activity because you will really enjoy walking very easily in the city, meeting the people, as I was saying before, and feeling the atmosphere. And just talking about the main places that are visited. The first one is the Saint-Sernin Basilica, the one which is classified at UNESCO, just followed by the Space City, the Space Museum, the famous Jacobins Cloister where the festival is happening, the Museum of Natural History, which is the second of France, Hall de la Machine, when you get the Minotaur, and finally the Aeroscopia Museum, of course, about aeronautics and its history. Next one. Yes, we often talk about Toulouse like colorful destination. People do not know that it's really a green city because we've got more than 130 parks and gardens. Everywhere you will be walking, you will find a little garden, a square, a place where to make a break, to relax, to enjoy once again the atmosphere and the people. And it's also a very green destination because of the strong presence of water with the Canal du Midi, but also because of the Garona River, which is the main river that is in the city center, where we've got lots of life along the river. It's where people are gathering during the weekend with family, with friends. We are enjoying also lots of festivals along the river. It's a very dynamic also river in Toulouse. Next one. Maybe Muriel can talk about other colors that we have in Toulouse, like the blue. I give you the floor.
Thank you. Yes, in Toulouse, we have two emblematic plants. We have the pastel, woad in English, and we have violet. So talking about pastel, these plants used to grow in the region between Toulouse, Carcassonne, and Albi. In this triangle, and so we had a lot of pastel at that time, and we used the leaves of that plant, which is a yellow flower, as you can see, and we used the leaf to extract a blue pigment that was the way to dye clothes in blue. And until the 16th century, it was the only way to dye clothes in blue. So a lot of people from Toulouse became very rich thanks to that trade. And they were able to have a private mansion like the Bamberg mansion that Julie showed us. And so that was the first life of pastel. And Annette, the lady you can see on your left, she's an artisan, and she offers a unique workshop, and you can with her learn how to dye clothes in blue. So that is something you can do in her shop, really close to the capital square in the city center of Toulouse. So that's something you will have to do if you come to Toulouse. But I think it's something which is on your program. So until the 16th century, we used pastel to dye clothes. And when indigo came from India, we stopped using pastel because it was it was too expensive. And the second life of pastel is cosmetics. So now we have different brands of cosmetics made with pastel, but not with the leaves of the plant, but with the seeds of the plant. We use the seed to extract this because pastel seeds has dermatological virtues. It's rich in fatty acids. It has omega-3, 6, and 9, so it's good for the skin. And we have a lot of cosmetics made with pastel. We have Graines de Pastel that you can see now, or Terre de Pastel, 2 different brands, but it's something really unique from Toulouse that you can find in different hotels or shops, and you can buy some souvenirs made with pastel, but very good products from Toulouse. Next. Yes, so we have pastel and we have violet. So in Toulouse, we do everything with violet, this little winter flower which blooms in winter. And that's why violet is the symbol of lovers, you know, for the Saint-Valentin. In February, we offer violet because it's a winter flower. And we have this péniche, this barge on the Canal du Midi that you can see. It's both a museum and a shop and a tea room also. And the lady you can see on your right, Hélène, she's a violet lover, and she makes everything with violet. She offers perfumes, sweets, candies, mustard, everything with violet. And in February, we have a Violet Festival in Toulouse on the Capital Square. We have violet everywhere. In every restaurant and hotels, you can find violet and violet menu. So this is really something in our city. And yeah, the new thing is that after 12 years of scientific research, they have discovered they have a patented active ingredient that comes from the fermentation of Toulouse violet leaves. That means we use the leaves. So now they also propose cosmetics made with violet. This is new. Gastronomy for Julie.
Yes, we cannot talk about Toulouse without mentioning gastronomy. Food is essential for us. So Toulouse is a city where gastronomy holds a special place in the hearts of locals and of visitors as well. So it's really known for its culinary tradition, and the city offers a great variety of delicious local dishes. As you can see, the one on the picture on the top, which is the famous cassoulet with local white beans, local sausage, and confit of duck confit. So, and it really reflects the cultural heritage of the destination. So in the next one, you will see all the emblematic products. So from the hearty cassoulet to flavorful foie gras, Toulouse cuisine is celebrated for its authentic flavors and all its regional specialties like cheese, ham, black truffle, garlic also. It's very important for us, and we love also sharing moments with the family and the friends on the table during the weekend and spending lots of time eating, talking about the product, talking about food. It's also the art de vivre of the destination. Next one. Yes, we are also proud about the variety of restaurants that we have, like cozy restaurants, rooftop ones, brasserie, 8 Michelin stars restaurants in Toulouse also. Also the guinguette, as you can see on the top of the right. Guinguette is really a French word. I don't know if you know the meaning. Guinguette are like outdoor seasonal restaurants, which are open most of the time between June and September. Some of them are along the river, and you're gathering there to eat some tapas food with good local wine and enjoying a very atmosphere based on conviviality once again. The typical restaurant, we call that the cave, because they are situated in old cellars, which have been transformed into restaurants. And it's really the typical restaurant that we have, because you will have all the red bricks inside to have all this authentic decoration. So if you really have a full experience, it's having a cassoulet in a cellar. That's it. And the gigot, yes, we put the picture of the gigot because and the bibent, because they are in the program that we have realized with Sarah. So the bibent is really an emblematic brasserie, which is situated on the famous Capitol Square, which is the main square of the city, with the city hall and the opera. As you can see, a golden decoration, very nice. And the gigot is more like an institution. It's where all the local people go to eat very good local products, because they work a lot with local producers. We talk about the kilometer zero, and they were really proud of this work that they do with the local producer of the region. So next one, please. Yes, Toulouse is also a sportive city. Just few words about the last Olympic Games, just to tell you that the local athletes from Toulouse have won 19 medals during the last Olympic Games. I'm sure you recognized the famous, how do you call him, Sarah?
Leo
the machine.
the machine.
The machine. Léon the Machine is from Toulouse. So he's one also of our ambassador of the destination. He's helping us to promote the destination. But we have also
and he used to study in ASU in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
So yes, we have swimming, rowing, soccer also with the team that we call the TFC, Toulouse Football Club. But the main one is rugby. Rugby is not just a sport. We talk about the rugby spirit. It's part of the DNA, definitely. I don't know how to explain it because you have to feel it. It's just also, my husband is playing rugby. My little daughter, 7 years old, is playing rugby also. It's really part of the culture, and it's really a way of thinking. During the weekend, we gather all the time at the rugby field or at home to watch the rugby game on TV. It's really part also of conviviality and of the local atmosphere, which really defines Toulouse. And just a little story with the pictures that you see on the top of the right. It is a festival that we have every year at the beginning of July, which is called Water Rugby. Can you imagine having a rugby field on the Garona River during 4 days? It's a real one, a big one. And to score, you need to plunge into the Garona River, of course. So it's really a great atmosphere. You've got international players, but also amateur, a team of women, of disabled people, of children. It's a great atmosphere during 4 days with, of course, food truck with local dishes, because food is essential also to really enjoy those moments. And it's a very nice one of the festivals that we have, one of the events that we have in Toulouse. And if I have to recommend one, it will be this one, definitely.
Yes, rugby is a religion, okay, in Toulouse.
Exactly. Yes, we cannot talk about Toulouse without mentioning the region, because we know that for you guys in the US, Toulouse is just a little point on the map in France. I know that Occitanie region, for us, we talk about a region which is as big as Belgium, but for you, it's not as big as that. But just to tell you that this region is really big and offers you a variety of landscape. You are 1 hour and a half to the Mediterranean Sea, 3 hours to the Atlantic Ocean, 1 hour and a half from the mountains. So if we want to go skiing during the weekend. We go there during the day and we come back at night. We're also very close by to Barcelona, at only 4 hours by car or by train. So it's also a way to come to Toulouse. We know that many people also use Barcelona airport to go after to Toulouse, and to combine also Catalonia with Occitanie. So it is a great location, and Toulouse is also perfect as a base camp, as Sarah thought when she realized the program, staying in Toulouse for 5, 6 days, and then going in the surrounding and visit all the different places that we have around to discover different landscapes. So maybe we're going to go into details just about some of them, which are part of the program that we have realized. The most famous is Carcassonne. Carcassonne, with the medieval city, the famous castle, is an authentic destination, and it's just 1 hour from Toulouse. And all around the medieval castle, you got vineyard. So can you imagine this impressive landscape? It's really fantastic, and you really have to go there. Next one. Yes. Albi is another city that we call La Ville Rose also, because also all the monuments are made with the red bricks. So it's also like a village. The city is classified at a UNESCO and is very, very famous for its cathedral, which is very impressive, and for its museum, which is called Toulouse-Lautrec Museum, with the famous paintings. So most of the time people think that the museum is in Toulouse because of the name, but no, it's in Albi, but very close by, just 45 minutes by car from Toulouse. So when you are in Toulouse, you really, really have to go to Albi also. Cordes-sur-Ciel, when you go to Albi, most of the time you go also to Cordes-sur-Ciel, which is a village which has been classified as one of the most beautiful villages in France, which is situated at the top of the hill with a very nice also atmosphere. It's not very big, but if you combine Albi and Cordes-sur-Ciel, you will have different atmosphere, and it's really part of the discovery during the day. You cannot go to Albi without going to this beautiful village, really. Cahors, yes. Cahors, when you're in Cahors, it's really a picturesque town located in the Lot department in the north of Toulouse, and it's known for its shining medieval architecture, and once again for its beautiful landscapes. There in the picture, you can see the Pont Valentré, the bridge Valentré, which is a UNESCO site, which is from the 14th century. So in the program also, it's included the visit of Cahors. And of course, when you will be visiting Cahors, you will make a stop in the vineyard to taste at the local wine, the Cahors wine, which is called the black wine due to its deep color. So once again, discovering the city, discovering the region is also tasting at the products, discovering the wine also. It's part of the visit and of the experience, I would say. Yes, we suggest you to finish maybe with a short video to give you some more content. We would like to show you much more pictures. So maybe the video will add something different and will help you to feel this atmosphere. We hope so.
I'm just going to share the video right now, okay? Because I have to send a document, so bear with me. I'm going to put it on white screen. Hold on a minute. I think you are back to sharing the wrong content. Video. I want to share the video. I've got too many screens open. But let me just do it that way so I can actually remove this one, and then should be able to. Right. Voila. It's a really nice video. I really like it, the way they made it, because it's very integrating everything. So we had a question in the chat from somebody who asked about vegetarian options. And I must say that as a Toulousain, I kind of like, and as somebody who eats a lot of vegetables, it's one of the things that maybe Muriel and Julie can talk about, because I cannot really say if it's easy. It's
We do
Yeah,
have
I
vegetarian
would say it's
restaurants
easy now. Yeah, it's
easy
easy to
now. Okay,
find
more and
it
more.
was not
vegetarian.
easy when I was growing up.
Yeah. No. We don't eat duck every day.
No.
No, it's
Okay.
not a problem. No.
Okay. If you have any message or questions, if you want to, unmute yourself and ask them directly, please do so.
Did we convince you?
Are we going to, my name is Amy Rollins. Are we going to discuss the program for the trip, or is it too early for that?
No, it's not too early, and I have it. And as I said at the beginning of the event, I have a tentative program because some venues may change. For instance, we with Julie and Muriel had an idea of the group having a cocktail on the roof of a famous place in Toulouse, Ma Biche sur le toit. But apparently they're not taking reservations anymore. So that's something we would have to do on the spur of the moment if we wanted to go with the group. And they would tell us whether or not they would have enough room for like 12 or 15 of us going. But in general, I mean, Muriel and Julie, do you want me to say what we, because I have the plan in front of me, I can say. So for instance, on October the 19th, so you can arrive on October the 19th, which is the day one of the trip. And in which case there'll be somebody at the airport to meet you, or you can do like me. I will probably arrive the day before because I want to be sure that I'm here to welcome everybody who arrives on the 19th. So to be honest, I will say like what I've said to my students who've taken the course on Toulouse with me for 8 weeks. I've told them that if you fly to Toulouse, I don't have any vested interest in Air France, okay? Not at all. But what I have is a vested interest in not missing my connection. So traveling Air France makes sense if you fly to Toulouse because, as you know, Paris is l'État, c'est moi, Louis XIV. Everything is centralized in Paris. And therefore, if you take United, for instance, Airlines, you will land in Charles de Gaulle Terminal 1, and then you'll have to schlep all the way to Charles de Gaulle Terminal 2 to get your connection, which is an Air France flight, to Toulouse. So my recommendation is if you arrive from the US and you're not staying in Paris, if you stay a few days in Paris, no problem. Then you take a taxi or the RER directly to Terminal 2 in Charles de Gaulle. But if you come directly from Washington or anywhere else in the States, please fly Air France, so you get yourself to Terminal 2 and you will have enough, make sure you have at least 3 hours, okay, between the two flights, but then you have enough time to go from Concourse F to Concourse E or back, wherever you land. But you will be in the same terminal. Your luggage will actually go directly from Washington or anywhere else in the United States directly to Toulouse, whilst if you land at Charles de Gaulle on United, then you have to go through immigrations, pick up your luggage, and schlep to the other terminal 2, and then go through immigration. I mean, first check in, go through immigration. So just trying to save time and frustrations, especially on the night plane towards Europe. So on the 19th, we will be welcoming everybody. There will be a guide. There will be a welcome dinner at one of the restaurants that we saw, the Gigo, subject to availability. There will be there's quite a few meals included in the trip, especially, first of all, breakfast is included every morning, but also the welcome dinner, the farewell dinner, and a couple of lunches that have already been decided. And so we have that. The Monday, the October 20th, we will meet at the Toulouse tourist office, which is behind the Capitol, and we will do a 3 hours tour of Toulouse. A great monument of Toulouse, which will include the Place du Capitole, the Basilique Saint-Cernin, the Jacobin convent. In France, some museum, depending whether the state or town, they are closed either on a Monday or Tuesday. The convent will be seen from the exterior because it's closed on a Monday, but we can come back on a Tuesday afternoon when it's free time. I can take you because you don't want to miss the cloister of the Jacobins and the little chapel inside and the reflection, especially if it's sunny, of the sun into the refectory and the chapel. It's absolutely magnificent. And then there will be, so I know that one of you emailed me and asking about the guides. Well, those of you who want to speak French, and I think Charles also asked that question for me. So if there are enough people, we can certainly cut the group into two, those who will require the English-speaking guide and those who would prefer to have a Francophone guide. All of the guides obviously are French, but some of them will speak English for those of you who don't speak English. The lunch is at the Bibent, the other restaurant that you saw on the slide as well. The afternoon is free. I've already said to my students who took the class with me that I can definitely take them around, you know, to visit, for instance, Cathédrale Saint-Étienne, if it's not in the program in the morning, or other things, that Le Château d'Eau, also, which is a photography museum, which is on the other side of the Garonne, and a few other things. On the free afternoon, I would be at the disposal of the group to show you a little bit more items. The Tuesday in the morning, there will be a guide of the Museum of the Archaeology and Antique next to, it's right next door to Basilique Saint-Cernin. So for instance, afterwards, there's a lunch at the Victor Hugo market, which is really, really nice because there is this market for food. And then just above, there is those little booths where people are making food directly with the produce from the market or the meat, etc. So that's something you can do. Now, for instance, if the day before the morning, the Basilique Saint-Cernin didn't include the visit of the crypt, then I would be more than happy to take you back in the afternoon of the Tuesday to visit the crypt or to go to the Jacobins, which will be open. This is this evening there is a dinner at your leisure. We will provide you with a list of all the restaurants that you want. Don't worry, you won't go back to the US feeling hungry. On the Wednesday is when we will go to Carcassonne. So we'll leave early in the morning so we can visit Carcassonne, as you've seen on the slide, the medieval city with the Hôtel Comtal and the ramparts, as well as the Basilique Saint-Nazaire. And we don't know yet. It will depend on the result of the survey whether we will include a lunch or whether we will leave the lunch free for you to decide wherever you want to lunch. In the afternoon, we can leave a little bit earlier, so we would go and stop at L'Envol des Pionniers, one of the aeronautics place, the one that talks about Saint-Exupéry and Clément Ader. Of course, I hope he's in there as well, because I know Anna was in Muret and she knows Clément Ader. So we would do that as well. On the Thursday, we will divide the group into two. You will do exactly the same thing, but each activity lasts 1.5 hours. So while the tour of the Renaissance of Toulouse, which is wonderful, you've seen already the building of the Fondation Bamberg, Hôtel d'Acesa, I think will be shown as well. So while the first group does that, the other will do the pastel dyeing workshop, and then once the one is finished, you know, you switch groups. So all of that will be make sure that you have both the activities. Then we will have lunch again on Place du Capitole at the Brasserie de l'Opéra, another one famous lieu of the town. And then in the afternoon, we go back to this magnificent building from the Renaissance, the Bamberg Hotel, where you will visit the foundation and the collection. Then we will go by our own means, probably by bus, because it's very easy, or we can walk if you're not tired, to go to the Maison de la Violette, the Violet House, so we can have an atelier, a workshop, and discover the violets, which is on the barge that you've seen in the slides. The evening is on your own again. Don't worry about the restaurants. The Friday, the 24th, that's when we will go to Corps-de-sur-Ciel, that little medieval village, and then we will visit it. There will be a round-trip shuttle with the Corps-de-sur-Ciel little train, subject to availability. And then we will take the coach back to Albi, where you've seen the Cathédrale Sainte-Cécile, and the Museum Toulouse-Lautrec. For the anecdote, I was living in the West Indies when I was a kid up to age 6, but every year we used to go back to France to visit my mom's parents who were living in Toulouse. So that's how I am related to Toulouse. My maternal family comes from Toulouse. And I want to tell you that I did my first steps in the Musée Toulouse-Lautrec. Now, I don't know it was because whether I liked the paintings or whether I didn't like them, but the only thing I can tell you is I made my first steps in that museum. So we will visit that and the cathedral and the museum, and then we will go back to Toulouse at the end of the day. And you can have dinner on your own, or we can decide a group of us to go somewhere, etc. On the 25th, the Saturday, that's when we will do a gourmet discovery tour of the Victor Hugo Market with Taste of Toulouse. It's a 3.5 hours tour, and it includes tastings. So maybe you will still want to eat something at lunch, maybe not. That will all depend on you. And in the afternoon, we will take the bus to visit the Aeroscopia Museum, where you see all the Concorde, the Caravelle, the big Beluga plane, etc. And then we will go back to Toulouse, where we will have a wine and cheese experience with Les Petits Crus. And then you can have dinner on your own. The Sunday, October 26th, we'll be going to Cahors. You've seen it on with the Pont Valentré from the medieval place. It's a really beautiful city, Cahors. There is even a poet from the Renaissance, from La Pléiade, I can't remember which one, but who actually lived in Cahors. There's a beautiful cathedral as well to visit beside the Pont Valentré. And on Sundays in general, especially at the end of October, because I have been there on Sundays, especially in Cahors on the Sunday mornings, because I didn't want to miss the market. Because when you see the market in Cahors on a Sunday morning, and you see the mushrooms, I mean, and if you're like me, crazy about mushrooms, you get really crazy, because they have truffles as well. I mean, as they have fresh truffles, okay? So you just imagine, like, it's like finding a chest of treasure for me, with gold coins, like finding truffles. And then we will go and move from Cahors in a bus to the winery, where we will have lunch with some the winery's own wine, and we will continue with the tour of the winery and with the tasting of 2 more wines. So by the time we take the coach back to Toulouse, I think a lot of you will be in a rather cheerful mode, and you will arrive right in time for another for the farewell dinner, which will be at the Toulouse winery, at the Toulouse winery as well. Okay, so or in a restaurant. And then the next day will be on the 27th, will be when the guide, for those of you who will be leaving Toulouse by that day, either going back to the United States or stopping over in Paris or going somewhere else in France, this will be your last day in Toulouse. However, some of the students in my class asked me if I was staying longer, and I said yes, I would stay myself longer, because after all, I have some family to visit in Toulouse as well. And I suggested that if there was an activity, for instance, one of them is a photographer. He wanted to know if we could go and visit one of the Citadelle du Vertige, which is one of the old Qatar castles. So we could rent a car, or maybe rent a minivan or something like that, and maybe 4 of us or 5 of us can go spend the day, whether in Foix, and attempt Montségur by the end of October. I don't think so, but there's a couple of more that are possible, including visiting the Cité de Minerve, which is not far away from Carcassonne, which is also a big name of the Qatar history. And then I can also maybe try to see if there is another of the museums that we haven't visited. For instance, Les Abattoirs, I'm not sure if there will be on renovation, which is the Contemporary Art Museum of Toulouse, which is on the other side. We can also go visit the Quartier de Saint-Cyprien, or the Halles of the Cartoucherie, which is the newer food market in Toulouse. And also my brother-in-law, who is absolutely the nicest guy ever on earth, is a president of the Order of Doctors of the entire region of Occitania. And he's agreed to come at a dinner with us, one of the free dinners, for those of us who want to meet somebody who has played rugby. He's a doctor and speaks French with a real Toulousain accent, but he's the nicest guy on earth. he's agreed to meet with you guys and will take the trip to talk about the difference between French and American medicine, what are the challenges in France of medical doctors compared to the US. And also he said he was going to try to, maybe, because one of his clients, obviously he's a gynecologist, so one of his clients is a woman, but the husband is a rugby man. So he will try to see if he can make us meet a rugby man, because that would be the cherry on the cake, at least for me. So these are the things that are in the trip right now, Amy. So I don't know if I answered your question, but that's a detailed trip. And anyone who wants to have it in hard copy, I can email it to you.
Yes, please. I can send you my email address.
Yes, please. Yeah, send it to, I'm going to put my email address in the chat there. So everyone who wants to send me an email address. So depending in terms of rates, the rate of the trip will not include your plane, your flight, because you may want to arrive before, leave after, you may want to go in another destination right afterward. We are just working on the final details to find out after the survey I'm going to send whether people want to have a lunch included in either Carcassonne or Albi, because that would slightly increase the rate. And then most of the people I talked to in the class wanted, because in France and the United States it's not the same, the hotels are not rated the same ways. Of course we all have stars in the US as well, just as we have in France, but in France it's a question of the bathroom. And from experience, and Robert, who's there with us today, who came to Paris with me back in 2019, knows that bathrooms in France can be very, very small, and they can be only showers, when some people prefer to have like the luxury of a bathtub equipped with a shower. So that in France would be a 4-star hotel, when a 3-star hotel will be only showers. Okay, so you have to know that. And so the group, my class, decided that they would prefer to go to a 4-star hotel. But I'm going to include that question as well in the questionnaire, so you can say that. However, what you have to know is that the trip is only possible in one hotel, which means that the democracy wants the vox populi, vox dei, the majority of votes will decide on that, and that will be what will be taken. It's not much difference in price, so don't feel like, oh my God, I'm going to pay so much more. This is not much difference in price. It's just a question of your bathroom, really. So just to have the most comfort possible.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other question? Don't be shy.
So, well, I'll ask another question real quickly.
Yeah.
For those of us who have been to Toulouse previously, it's acceptable if we want to take a half a day off on our own to just do our own thing if the group is going to visit a place we personally have already seen. I assume that's okay.
I think it's okay, but I don't think it's going to reduce your rate.
No, that's all right. That's
Okay,
that's not an issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see that. Yeah, Amy, I think it's okay. I've done that back in the USSR. Okay, so I'm sure you can do that. I'm looking at the question. Denis said he will be coming from Paris. How difficult is it to get the city center from the train station? You can actually walk down Rue Bayard to the city center, and it's not long. Okay, I see that Anna has asked, will there be some kind of earbuds or whispers to help the members of the group to understand what the guys are saying? Anna, can you explain what you mean by whispers or earbuds?
Radio transmitters.
When I've taken tours before where there's a group and a guide, the guide has a transmitter and each member of the group wears a little earbud. And so when the guide speaks, particularly in a noisy situation, you get their voice in your ear, just one ear.
Okay, that will be a question for Julie and Muriel. Est-ce qu'il y a les guides donnent un petit truc pour mettre dans les oreilles pour qu'on puisse les entendre?
Oui, nos guides sont équipés
Okay.
à l'office du tourisme. Ouais.
Jack is asking, are they Roman ruins? And I see that Julie has replied, there are a couple actually in the Musée Saint-Raymond. If you go down in the basement, you actually can see some Roman ruins, okay? That I actually was so happy because I was telling Muriel when I was there in October last year, 2024, that I used to go to the Musée Saint-Raymond in between classes at the law school, because the law school is just next door. And so I used to go to my headquarters, which was the Café Saint-Cernin on Place Saint-Cernin on the other side. And then sometimes when I love antiquity times and I love history, so I used to go to that museum just for that. And so I was ever so happy to see that they did a fantastic, first of all, they've done a fantastic renovation and cleansing of the museum. And they've really put in a really nice way what's in the basement. And there are a couple of places in the city where you can still see some, not far away from La Cité Administrative, there used to be things that date, like a rampart that dated back from the Romans. Yeah. Okay, Margaret is asking, is there a single supplement for the hotel stay or ability to share? If somebody wants to share the room with you, Margaret, I'm sure it would be possible. That's a question I can ask in the survey. Thank you for asking. I can ask, would you be willing to share a room or not? Okay, because I know some people might not be willing to share, but I know that some people are coming in a couple, so they'll have a double room instead of a single. I can ask that, in which case you would be able to share. I can't guarantee that somebody will answer positively, but I can ask a question in the survey.
Hi, it's Margaret here. I know for me personally, and I've traveled alone most of my life, that I prefer a single room. But if it, if you get charged, and I don't care if it's just a twin bed, and I don't need a fancy bathtub, that's for sure. But sometimes they charge supplements for that kind of thing, and it always ticks me off hugely.
Yeah, there is a rate. The rate would be different if you were, I think, were a single or double, but it's not. I mean, it's not like going from single to triple rate. Okay, it's not like that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you? Any other question? No. So October is a good month to go to Toulouse in general. So you could have the surprise of having a little bit of fog in the morning. I'm not going to hide the fact that's true, because after all, there is the Garonne. But in general, when the fog dissipates, it's a beautiful blue sky. And I took fabulous photos. The intense blue sky that you saw on the photos, this is not Photoshop, okay? When the sky is blue in Toulouse, it's really intensely blue, okay? You will be able to see that. And when I was there last year, I can't remember whether it was the part when I was in October or the part when I was in November, but there was also an Italian market behind the Capitol, which was just before Christmas, the Italian market in Toulouse. Yeah, so.
If I could just add one thing,
Yeah.
I was in Toulouse in early October 2023 for the first time, and the weather was extremely warm. It was 80 degrees Fahrenheit almost every day. But I assume that is unusual. What is the typical weather temperature?
It's impossible to say, because with the climate change, we can have such a huge difference from one day to another one.
Right.
Like, for instance, for this April, we have so much rain, and sometimes you can have like 28 degrees in April, but now it's something like 14. And it's the same for October, and the same for the summertime also. During the summertime, we can have like 40 degrees, and the day after 15. So it's very difficult question to answer to.
Right.
I'm so sorry, because I cannot
Oh, no,
guarantee that it will be
fine.
sunny or it will be very good.
Right.
It's not like it's not as set as it was when I was growing up. But to give you an example, Amy, I've been going back to Toulouse, except during COVID. But I've been going back to Toulouse mostly in the fall, because that's when I can take my annual vacation myself. It's easier for me at the Alliance to take them in the fall. And in general, it's always October or November. And rarely have I been cold. I mean, in need of a down duvet kind of a coat and everything. But it's been anything between 10 degrees Celsius in the morning, Celsius, okay, and up to 25, 20, 28 even, between the middle of October to the middle of November. Sometimes in November, I haven't been only staying in Toulouse. I've been going to other places of Occitania. Where, for instance, last year after Toulouse, I went to Aulargues, north of Béziers, in just some like the south side of Le Mont Caroux, which is a nice mountains, and it was raining, which is absolutely unusual for the area. But it was nice because they needed the rain, otherwise of the wildfire situation. But yeah, but it can be like Julie said. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So Nelson is asking about the moderate or extensive amount of walking. So everything in Toulouse has become a pedestrian city in the last, I would say, 5 years or even more, 10 years. It slowly has become so anything which is in the center is really walkable easily. So that will be done walking. Yeah.
As I told you, the maximum from one point to another one is something like 20 minutes walking. When you are in the main square, if you want to cross the river, go in the Saint-Cyprien neighborhood, it's only 20 minutes walking. So it's a very accessible destination, really.
Yeah. And then there is a great public transportation system as well, okay? TCO.
We have 2 metro lines.
Yeah.
So if you want to use the metro, it's also possible.
There's metro, there's bus, and then there's the tram. The tram goes, for instance, from not far away from Le Jardin des Plantes, if I remember well, all the way to Purpan on the other side. There's a tram line as well there, so which is nice because you're not on the ground, you can see the landscape. So yeah, so that's a really great public transportation system. Okay, well, if you don't have any more questions, and if you think of something else after the event, please email me. I put my email in the chat, and when I send out I've got all of your emails because when you signed up with your email. So I will send a survey to all of you, and by the end of next week, I'll send also the recording link, for YouTube for the event. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send them to me. I'll be in contact with Muriel and Julie, early May to decide exactly, to give them all of the answers, to decide and finalize completely the program so we can open registration for joining in as early as May the 13th, when it's officially launched at the 120th anniversary. But there will be a soft launch for those of you who are already interested. I know, for instance, that one of our students has already bought her tickets and a husband's ticket as well, plane ticket to go to Toulouse for the dates. So that's nice to know. And the more the merrier. So spread the word around you if you want to be, I'm not sure if I want to go on my own, etc. Spread the word around you. You will not be disappointed. And I'm not saying that because I am, from Toulouse, but it is really a beautiful city, which that's what I can say. Very easily, let me explain you. When I listen to Nougaro's song, au Toulouse, au Toulouse, my students can tell you, I just start sobbing because it brings back so much emotion and so many different memories that I just cannot, it's just too much for me. But I love it. So I really love my hometown. So yeah, I'll be very honored and very happy to show you Toulouse and to include more in the free afternoon, to take you to other places, etc. So you can count on me for that. Yeah. Thank you for the photo there. Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was, the whole city turned pink when the sky, when the sun set. It was just breathtaking.
Yeah. And the same thing at sunrise as well. If you're an early bird, you can see the city turn pink differently, though. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much to everyone. Thank you to Muriel and Julie. It's 1:20 a.m. in France. So thank you so much for your coming.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Thank
and we
you.
hope to welcome you to Toulouse this fall.
Thank you.
Definitely,
hope to see
we'll
you.
have
Yes.
you. We'll have you there at the guest at the dinner with us. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Merci.
Bye.
Merci.
Bonne nuit.
Et à toutes.
Bonne nuit.